The noble Mahayana Sanghata Sutra Dharmaparyaya. In the language of India, Arya Sanghata Sutra Dharmaparyaya. Homage to all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Thus I have heard at one time. The Blessed One was dwelling in Rajagriha on Vulture's Peak, together with a great assembly of 32,000 monks, including the Venerable Ashnata Kondinya, the Venerable Moggallana, the Venerable Shariputra, the Venerable Mahakashyapa, the Venerable Rahula, the Venerable Bakula, the Venerable Bhadrapala, the Venerable Bhadrasri, the Venerable Chandradhanasri, the Venerable Jangula, the Venerable Subhuti, the Venerable Raveta, the Venerable Nandasena, and so forth. And together with 62,000 Bodhisattvas, including the Bodhisattva, the great being Maitreya, the Bodhisattva, the great being Sarvasura, the Bodhisattva, the great being Kumara Sri, the Bodhisattva, the great being Kumara Vasin, the Bodhisattva, the great being Kumara Bhadra, the Bodhisattva, the great being Anuna, the Bodhisattva, the great being Manjusri, the Bodhisattva, the great being Samanta Bhadra, the Bodhisattva, the great being Sudarshana, the Bodhisattva, the great being Vaisajasena, the Bodhisattva, the great being Vajrasena, and so forth. And together with 12,000 Devasans, including the Devasan Arjuna, the Devasan Bhadra, the Devasan Subhadra, the Devasan Damaruchi, the Devasan Chandana Gaba, the Devasan Chandana Vazin, the Devasan Chandana, and so forth. And together with 8,000 Deva daughters, including the Deva daughter Madamjini, the Deva daughter Prasadavati, the Deva daughter Mahatma Samprayota, the Deva daughter called Glorious Eye, the Deva daughter Prajapati Vasini, the Deva daughter Balini, the Deva daughter called Glorious Wealth, the Deva daughter Subabhu Yukta, and so forth. And together with 8,000 Naga kings, including the Naga king Apalala, the Naga king Ilapatra, the Naga king Timingjila, the Naga king Kubasara, the Naga king Kumbhashasha, the Naga king called Causing Virtue, the Naga king Sunanda, the Naga king Sushaka, the Naga king Gavashasha, and so forth. All of them proceeded to Rajagriha, to Vulture's Peak, where the Blessed One was. When they reached there, they prostrated with their heads at the feet of the Blessed One, circumambulated the Blessed One 3 times, and then they all sat down in front of the Blessed One. The Blessed One assented to their presence by remaining silent. Then the Bodhisattva, the great being Sarvasura, arose, placed his upper robe over one shoulder, set his right knee on the ground, placed his palms together, and bowed down to the Blessed One. He addressed the Blessed One as follows. Blessed One, 1,000,000 Devas, 1,000,000 daughters of Devas, and many millions of Bodhisattvas have gathered. Blessed One, many millions of Shravakas and also Naga kings have gathered and are seated to hear the Dharma. That being so, may the Tathagata, the Arhat, the perfect and complete Buddha, please teach that sort of approach into the ways of Dharma, through which as soon as they hear it, all sentient beings will purify all their karmic obstacles, and young sentient beings will make a great effort at virtuous Dharma, and will attain special superiority, and their virtuous actions will not degenerate, will not at all degenerate, and will not become at all degenerated. He said this, and the Blessed One spoke thus to the Bodhisattva, the great being Sarvasura. Sarvasura, that you have taught to ask the Tathagata about this point is good, very good. Therefore, Sarvasura, listen well and attentively, and keep it in mind, and I will tell you. Having said to the Blessed One, Just so, the Bodhisattva, the great being Sabashura, listened with full attention to the Blessed One. The Blessed One spoke thus to him, Sabashura, there is a Dharmaparyaya called Sanghata that even now is still active on this planet Earth. Whoever hears this Sanghata Dharmaparyaya will have their 5 uninterrupted karmas purified, and they will never turn away from unsurpassed, perfect, and complete enlightenment. Sabashura, what do you think about this? If you think that those who hear this Sanghata Sutra will produce as much as the mass of merits of one Tathagata, you should not see it like that. Sabashura said, well then, how should it be seen? The Blessed One said, Sabashura, those bodhisattvas, great beings, will also produce as much a mass of merits as the masters of merits of as many Tathagatas, arhats, perfects, and complete Buddhas as grains of sand in the Ganges River. Sabashura, those who hear this Sanghata Dharmaparyaya will never turn away. They will see the Tathagata. They will never be separated from seeing the Tathagata. They will be completely enlightened in the unsurpassed, perfect, and complete enlightenment. The virtuous dharmas that they will all achieve will not be overpowered by the wicked Mara. Sabashura, all those who hear this Sanghata Sutra will understand arising and cessation. Then at that moment, all of those bodhisattvas arose, placed their upper robe over one shoulder, set their right knee on the ground, and asked of the Blessed One, Blessed One, how much is the mass of merit of one Tathagata? The Blessed One spoke as follows, children of the lineage, listen to the measure of the mass of merits of one Buddha. It is as follows. To make an analogy, as great as is the mass of merits of as many bodhisattvas abiding on the 10 levels as there are drops of water in the great ocean, and particles of dust on the planet Earth, and grains of sand in the Ganges River, the mass of merits of one Buddha is much greater than that. As for those sentient beings who hear this Sanghata Dharmaparyaya, the mass of merits they will produce is much greater even than that. It is not possible to realize the limits of that mass of merit by counting. Sabashura, anyone who feels great joy at the time, at the moment when they hear these words, will produce an immeasurable mass of merit. Then the Bodhisattva, the great being Sabashura, said to the Blessed One, Blessed One, who are those sentient beings who thirst tremendously for the Dharma? After he said this, the Blessed One spoke as follows to the Bodhisattva, the great being Sabashura. Sabashura, there are 2 sentient beings who thirst tremendously for the Dharma. If you wonder which those 2 are, Sabashura, they are as follows. One has an equal mind toward all sentient beings. The second, Sabashura, is anyone who, after hearing the Dharma, reveals it correctly and fully to all sentient beings equally. The Bodhisattva, the great being Sabashura, said, Blessed One, who after hearing the Dharma reveals it correctly and fully to all sentient beings equally? The Blessed One said, Sabashura, the first are those who, having heard the Dharma, wholly dedicate themselves to enlightenment. When one has wholly dedicated oneself to enlightenment, one thirsts tremendously for Dharma for the sake of sentient beings. Sabashura, the second are those who enter into the Mahayana. They are also always tremendously thirsty for the Dharma. Then the millions of devas, nagas, humans, and deva daughters arose, placed their palms together in front of the Blessed One, and addressed the Blessed One as follows. Blessed One, we too are tremendously thirsty for the Dharma. That being so, may the Blessed One completely fulfill our wishes and the wishes of all sentient beings. At that moment, the Blessed One displayed a smile. Then the Bodhisattva, the great being Sabashura, arose, placed his palms together, and bowed down to the Blessed One. He addressed the Blessed One as follows. Blessed One, what is the cause of your smile? What is the condition? Then the Blessed One spoke to the Bodhisattva, the great being Sabashura. Sarvasura, those sentient beings who came here will be completely enlightened in the unsurpassed, perfect, and complete enlightenment. They will attain the full establishment of the objects of enjoyment of a Tathagata. The Bodhisattva Sarvasura said, Blessed One, due to what cause and what condition will the sentient beings who came here be completely enlightened in the unsurpassed, perfect, and complete enlightenment? The Blessed One said, It is good, Sarvasura, very good that you thought to ask the Tathagata about this point. Therefore, Sarvasura, listen to the distinctive qualities of dedication. Sarvasura, at a time long past, countless eons ago, a Tathagata, an Arahat, a perfect and complete Buddha called Ratnasri, endowed with knowledge and good conduct, gone to bliss, knower of the world, unsurpassed guide of beings to be tamed, teacher of devas and humans, a Buddha, a blessed one, arose in the world. Sarvasura, at that time, at that moment, I was a Brahmin youth. All those sentient beings whom I was leading to the gnosis of the Buddha at that moment, had become wild animals. And so at that moment, I made this prayer. May all the wild animals who are now completely tormented by suffering be reborn in my Buddha view. May I establish them all in the gnosis of the Buddha. And all those wild animals, having heard those words, said, May it be so. Sarvasura, by these roots of virtue, these sentient beings have come here and will be completely enlightened in the unsurpassed, perfect, and complete enlightenment. Thereupon, after hearing this greatly joyful thing from the Buddha, the Bodhisattva, the great being Sarvasura, said to the Blessed One, Blessed One, what lifespan is possible for those sentient beings? The Blessed One said, a lifespan of 80 eons is possible for those sentient beings. The Bodhisattva Sarvasura said, Blessed One, how much is the measure of an eon? The Blessed One said, Child of the lineage, listen. It is as follows. To make an analogy, a man built an enclosure 12 yojanas in circumference and 3 yojanas in height, and completely filled the enclosure with nothing but sesame seeds. Then, whenever 1,000 years had passed, that man cast a single sesame seed out from that enclosure that was completely filled with sesame seeds. In such a manner, even when that man comes to the end of all those sesame seeds, and even the foundation and base of the enclosure no longer exists, still an eon would not have come to an end. Moreover, Sarvasura, it is as follows. To make an analogy, there is a mountain 50 yojanas in depth and some 12 yojanas in height. Then a man built a house on the side of that mountain, and for a long time, when 100 years passed, that man would wipe it once with a cloth of Benares muslin. By his doing so, the mountain would come to an end. But even after it had, still an eon would not have come to an end. Sarvasura, that is the measure of an eon. Then the Bodhisattva, the great being Sarvasura, arose and addressed the Blessed One. Blessed One, if even one dedication produces a large mass of merit such that the lifespan of a happy life can become 80 eons, what need could there be to mention someone who offers an extremely great amount of reverential service to the teachings of the Tathagata? The Blessed One said, Listen, child of the lineage. If anyone who hears the Sanghata Dharmaparyaya is able to have a lifespan of 84,000 eons, what need is there to mention one who has the Sanghata Sutra written out and who reads it? Sarvasura, that one will produce an extremely large mass of merits. Sarvasura, anyone who has a mind inspired with pure faith and makes heartfelt prostrations to the Sanghata Sutra will remember their past life for 95,000 their past lives for 95 eons. They will become a wheel-turning king for 60 eons. Even in that lifetime, everyone will like them. Sarvasura, Their death will not be brought about by weapons. Their death will not be brought about by poison. They will not be harmed by black magic. Even at their time of death, they will see 99 million Buddhas directly. And Sarvasura, those Buddhas, those blessed ones, will say to that person, Holy being, because you have heard the great Sanghata Sutra Dharmaparyaya explained well, therefore this mass of merits was created. And those 99 million Buddhas, the blessed ones, in their individual world systems, will also make a prediction. If this is so, Sarvasura, what need is there to mention anyone who hears all of these great Sanghata Sutra Dharmaparyaya completely and extensively? Not only that, they will reassure that person, saying, do not fear. At that, the Bodhisattva, the great being Sarvasura, said to the Blessed One, Blessed One, when I too listen to the great Sanghata Sutra Dharmaparyaya, what mass of merits will I produce, Blessed One? The Blessed One said, Sarvasura, that sentient being too will produce a mass of merit as much as the merits of the number of Buddhas, Tathagatas, equaling the grains of sand in the Ganges River. He said, Blessed One, when I listen to the great Sanghata Sutra Dharmaparyaya, I can't get enough of it. The Blessed One said, Sarvasura, it is good, very good, that you are unable to get enough of Dharma teachings. Sarvasura, since I too am unable to get enough of Dharma teachings, Sarvasura, what need to mention that ordinary beings do not get enough? Sarvasura, any son of the lineage or daughter of the lineage who generates faith in the Mahayana will not go to wrong migrations for 1,000 eons. For 5,000 eons, they will not be born as an animal. For 12,000 eons, they will not be bad-minded. For 18,000 eons, they will not be born among beings in a remote region. For 20,000 eons, they will be courageous in giving. For 25,000 eons, they will be born in the world of devas. For 35,000 eons, they will engage in the practice of celibacy. For 40,000 eons, they will renounce the householder's way of life. For 50,000 eons, they will uphold the Dharma. And for 65,000 eons, they will meditate on mindfulness of death. Sarvasura, not even the slightest bad karma will occur to the dead son of the lineage or daughter of the lineage. The wicked Maras will find no opportunity with them. They will never be born in the womb of a mother. Sarvasura, those who hear this Dharmaparyaya, no matter where they are born, for 95 countless eons, will not fall into wrong realms. For 8,000 eons, they will retain what they have heard. For 1,000 eons, they will abandon killing. For 99,000 eons, they will abandon telling lies. For 13,000 eons, they will abandon divisive speech. Sarvasura, sentient beings who have heard this Dharmaparyaya are rare. Then the Bodhisattva, the great being Sarvasura, arose, placed his upper robe over one shoulder, set his right knee on the ground, placed his palms together, and bowed down to the Blessed One. He said to the Blessed One, Blessed One, how large a mass of bad karma will those who reject this Dharmaparyaya produce? The Blessed One said, Sarvasura, it is much. He said, Blessed One, how large a mass of bad karma will those sentient beings produce? The Blessed One said, Be quiet, Sarvasura, be quiet. Do not ask me about the masses of bad karma, Sarvasura. Compared to generating ill will towards as many Tathagatas, Arhats, perfect and complete Buddhas as there are grains of sand in 12 Ganges rivers, those who disparage the Sanghata Sutra will produce a far greater mass of non-virtue. Sarvasura, those who generate ill will towards the Mahayana will also produce a far greater mass of non-virtue than that. Sarvasura, those sentient beings are burnt. They are just burnt. Sarvasura asked, Blessed One, is it not possible to liberate those sentient beings? The Blessed One said, That is so, Sarvasura. It is impossible to liberate them. Savashura. It is as follows. To make an analogy, if someone were to cut off a man's head, if that person were to apply as a poultice to his head, either honey or sugar or molasses or butter or vegetable oil or any medicinal poultice, what do you think about this, Savashura? Would this person be able to rise up again? Savashura said, Blessed One, this cannot be. The Blessed One said, Moreover, Savashura, there would also be another man. When he struck another sentient being with a sharp weapon, although he was unable to kill him by striking one blow, Savashura, a wound would occur. If medicine were applied, his wound would heal. At the time when he has revived, recalling the suffering, that man would think, Now I understand, and therefore at no time will I create wicked, non-virtuous karma. Just like the one who reflects in this way, Savashura, when that man recalls suffering, he completely abandons wickedness. At that time, all the Dharma becomes manifest. When all the Dharma has become manifest, at that time, he will bring to completion all the virtuous Dharma teachings. Savashura, it is as follows. To make an analogy, just as the parents of a man who died grieve and lament, but nevertheless have no ability to protect him. In the same way, Savashura, childish, ordinary individuals are also unable to help themselves or others. Like those parents whose hopes were dashed, these sentient beings too will have their hopes dashed at the time of death. Savashura, there are two sentient beings whose hopes have been dashed. Who are the two? They are as follows. One is a sentient being who does wicked actions or has them done. The other is one who abandons the holy Dharma. Both these sentient beings have their hopes dashed at their time of death. The Bodhisattva Savashura said, Blessed One, what is the migration path of these sentient beings? What is their life afterwards? The Blessed One said, Savashura, limitless are the migrations of sentient beings who disparage the holy Dharma. Limitless too are their future lives. Savashura, sentient beings who abandon the holy Dharma will experience feelings for an eon in the sentient being's great hell of lamentation, for an eon in the crushing hell, an eon in the hot hell, an eon in the extremely hot hell, an eon in the great hells of black lines, an eon in the great hell of Avicii, an eon in the great hell called hair raising, an eon in the great hell of calling out alas, and Savashura. They will have to experience the sufferings of these 8 great hells for 8 eons. Then the Bodhisattva, the great being Savashura, said the following to the Blessed One. Blessed One, it is suffering. Sanghata, it is suffering. Hearing of it is not joyful. Then the Blessed One at the time uttered these verses. How beings in the beings' hell experience such sufferings. Greatly fearsome words like this you find no joy in hearing. For those who do virtuous actions, goodness is what comes to pass. For those who do non-virtuous actions, that becomes suffering indeed. Those who do not know happiness cause, once they are born, will be tormented by death, and by the pain of their bondage to grief. These childish ones will always suffer. Those who recall the Buddha as supreme, these skillful ones indeed are happy. Those who have faith in the Mahayana too will not go to bad migrations. Savashura, in just this way, propelled by previous karma, those who have done merely a small deed will experience endless results. In the Buddha field, the supreme field, if one plants a seed, great will be the fruits. Just as many fruits are enjoyed from planting but a few seeds, so those who delight in the conqueror's teachings, these skillful ones indeed are happy. They abandon wicked deeds and create much virtue too. Anyone who gives to my teachings an offering of even just a mere hair will for 80,000 eons have great possessions and much wealth too. Wherever it is that they are born, they will always be generous. Thus, greatly fruitful is the Buddha, a profound place for giving. Then the Bodhisattva, the great being Sarvasura, said to the Blessed One, Blessed One, how should one seek out the Dharma taught by the Blessed One? Blessed One, how will one take firm hold of the roots of virtue after hearing the Sanghata Sutra, Dharmaparyaya? The Blessed One said, Sarvasura, one should know that the mass of merits of one who listens to this Sanghata Sutra Dharmaparyaya is just like offering reverential service to as many Tathagatas, Arhats, perfect and complete Buddhas, as there are grains of sand in 12 Ganges rivers, providing them with everything required for their happiness. The Bodhisattva said, Sarvasura said, Blessed One, how are the roots of virtue to be brought to completion? He asked this, and the Blessed One said to the Bodhisattva, the great being Sarvasura, these roots of virtue are to be understood to be equal to a Tathagata. What are these roots of virtue that are to be understood to be equal to the Tathagata? The Blessed One said, an orator of the Dharma is to be understood to be equal to a Tathagata. Sarvasura said, Blessed One, who is an orator of the Dharma? Anyone who reads out the Sanghata Sutra is an orator of the Dharma. Sarvasura said, Blessed One, since even those who hear the Sanghata Sutra Dharmaparyaya will produce such a mass of merits, what need is there to mention those who write it out and read it? How much a mass of merit will they produce? The Blessed One said, Sarvasura, listen. It is as follows. To make an analogy, in each of the four directions, as many Tathagatas, Arhats, perfect and complete Buddhas as there are grains of sand in 12 Ganges rivers could sit and teach the Dharma for 12 eons. Yet even if they describe the mass of merits of the one writing out this Sanghata Sutra, they would not be able to comprehend its end nor express it in words. If even as many Buddhas, blessed ones, as there are grains of sand in 48 Ganges rivers, are unable to express the mass of merit of the one writing it out, what need is there to mention that whoever writes it out, or reflects on it, or reads it, will become a treasury of the Dharma? The Bodhisattva Sarvasura said, Blessed One, how much will be the mass of merits of the one who reads it? Then at that time the Blessed One spoke these verses. As for the virtues of those who have read one mere stanza of 4 lines, though conquerors as many as grains of sand in 84 of the Ganges rivers, should describe uninterruptedly all the merits of those who have read this sutra, the Sanghata, still that merits would not run out. The Dharma taught by enlightened ones is hard to find and limitless. At the time and at that moment as well, 84 hundreds of thousands of myriad millions of devas placed their palms together and bowed down towards where the teaching of the Sanghata Sutra Dharmaparyaya was. They said to the Blessed One, for whatever purpose the Blessed One deposited such a Dharma treasury on this planet Earth, it is good, very good. 1,800,000 myriad millions of naked ascetics from other traditions arrived at the place where the Blessed One was and said to the Blessed One, Ascetic Gautama, Sir, be victorious. The Blessed One said, the Tathagata is always victorious. Sirs, heretical nudis, knew this. How would you heretics be victorious? They said, may you be victorious, ascetic Gautama. May you be victorious.